Hey everybody, it's John back with another video. And our topic today is going to be self care. I know a lot of people think self care is like going to the spa, getting a manicure or pedicure. Those are really more just pampering or grooming things that we do. Self care is a lot more holistic than that. So we're going to start off with a definition of self-care, which I found online, some from Psychology Today, some from another source called Very wellhealthbeing.com, and then also the United Nations Medical Health Wing, the World Health Organization. Like I said, I'm going to start off with the definition of self care and then also dive into different areas of self care, which the four areas we're going to cover is the physical, mental, relationships, and then the spiritual aspects of self care. Okay, self care is the practice of taking care of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of your life to promote health and wellness. Um, it's the act of caring for oneself and an important part of a person's overall well-being. And our the well health, sorry, the well World Health Organization says that self-care is being able to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, cope with illness and disability with or without the support of a healthcare provider. So those are our definitions we're going to be using for self-care today, and we're going to dive into our first area. The first area is physical health. Some aspects of physical health can be getting regular exercise or working out, whatever that means for you. It could be going to the gym. It could be doing outside things like jogging or power walking or just a long distance walk. Whatever you do for exercise, cycling, those are things like that. Also, getting enough sleep um, is a big part of physical health. And getting regular medical and dental care. So it's also, especially as you get older, get going to the doctor and getting those physicals, having those blood tests run to make sure your labs are okay, and also getting dental health. I know for myself, I go for dental checkups twice a year, so biannually, I go every 6 months. So that's the physical health aspects of self care. The second area we're going to go into is mental health. And that can be a variety of things. I think a lot of us, when we hear mental health, we just want to jump right into therapy or going to a psychologist, a licensed professional counselor, or a psychiatrist if you need medication for your mental health. But we're going to start off with some things that people don't think about. Part of your mental health could be taking an adult education class, like cooking classes. I've looked into doing a perfume or cologne making class where you just pay a fee and go into a class, and they give you all the raw supplies to make your own cologne or perfume. So those adult classes like that can be mental health. It can be trying out a new hobby. I don't know, something like pottery making or something like that. That can be a part of your mental health. And then, of course, you do have getting help from a mental health professional when needed. So it can be going to a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a licensed professional counselor. You can go when needed. I've gone for grief when I've had a close family member die. I go to therapy at least once a year, just on general practice, just to make sure that my life is going okay and I'm okay mentally. So you can just go to a mental health professional on general practice just to make sure you're okay. I know it is easier because I do have employer sponsored in medical insurance that will cover uh, mental health, what they call behavioral health, so going to a therapist. But if you don't have insurance, there are sometimes community based resources that you can find, maybe through your county, which is already paid for through your tax dollars, or it can be through a social service organization, like you maybe can refer to somebody from like United Way, or if you do have insurance, but you may not know any type of referrals to a counselor who's right for you. I know people have used BetterHelp. .com to find a therapist. So that's a resource. Those are resources if you need mental help from a professional licensed and trained in that area. Some other things you can do is like read a new book, or you can do a crossword puzzle or some other type of brain teaser or puzzle. That all those things can contribute to your self care for the mental health part. And then relationships. That's our third area of self care. And relationships doesn't necessarily mean romantic, although it can include that. It can be romantic, but it can be friendships, platonic relationships like friendships or with your family. Things you can do to develop relationships is you can just schedule a coffee or lunch or dinner with friends or family members. If you don't have that many friends, one thing that has helped me, again, which I've mentioned in other videos, is finding a meetup group on meetup.com for an interest that you're interested in. And you can meet people through those types of groups. You can join a meetup group, like I said, for a hobby or interest that you have. And then you can just sign up to go. You can RSVP to go to a function that group is having, show up, and show yourself friendly, and you can develop friendships like that, and then you can start doing dinner or lunch or coffee with those friends. And of course your own family members are also a resource. You can connect with a faith-based organization, like if you I belong to a church. Some people are not religious, or they may be atheists. If that's the case, you can connect with a community-based organization of your choice. It can be a civic organization or any type of community-based organization. I know here in Atlanta, where I live, I belong to several groups for Black LGBTQ people, and those are community-based resources. Also, I've done another thing you can do is do volunteer work for a local organization. It could be the Kidney Fund or Foundation, the Cancer Society, any cause or organization that you might want to volunteer for. That's also where you can build relationships. So that is the relationship portion of self care. And then our fourth and final area is spiritual. Now for me, it does include going to a church or religious organization. But if you are not religious at all, what you can do is you can do spiritual things that are things that develop your spirit. It doesn't have to be an organized religion. It can just be meditation. For those of you who may be into yoga or want to get into yoga, you can find yoga in your local area. Uh, One thing that I do that's in addition to me going to church, which is a spiritual practice, is hiking or spending time in nature. So you can go on a hike, spend time in nature, contemplate your own thoughts, your own life. Think about just things that you want to do or how you feel on the inside, or just a practice of being quiet to bring peace and tranquility to yourself. You can listen to inspirational music in addition to maybe going to church or a religious body. If you don't want to physically go to a church or some type of service, there are virtual spiritual activities that are, online, because a lot of people now, especially since the pandemic happened, they attend church services online through either live streaming from their church or religious organization's website, or YouTube, Facebook, those types of things. You can pray, and praying for me, it means praying to God, but you can just pray within yourself if you are not religious, if you want to do that. Another thing you can do, there are spiritual advisors out there that you can find. And you can talk to a spiritual advisor about what's going on in your spirit to center your spirit and bring some peace to yourself. I'm sorry. And finally, what are the long term benefits of self care? All those self care areas. Um, Self care can help you manage chronic diseases that you may already have, like if you already are diabetic or have some heart disease. Those areas of self care can help you manage it to cope with those chronic conditions that you already have. Self care can also be disease prevention. If you are doing things that relieve stress, if you are eating healthy and getting that physical exercise that we talked about in the physical health self care, that can prevent heart disease, or obesity, or other ailments from developing. Also, according to the very improved better wellbeing.com, self-care can improve your job satisfaction, may help you be more satisfied with your occupation, and it'll keep you from being burnt out with your job that you're doing as a career. Self-care can improve your quality of life and help you better manage any health conditions, like I said before, that you have. It can also give you a greater sense of belonging, and lastly, an overall better sense of well being. Okay, so I want to ask you all to get down in those comments and tell me what you do for self care and what you like to do. If you have any referrals, I will add the two sites that I have used as a resource for this video: Psychology Today and the Very Well-Being. I'll put those hyperlinks in the video when I upload it. But get down in the comments and let me know everything that you do for self-care to take care of yourself in every area. I'm open to whatever thoughts you have. It may be a great resource for the rest of the audience on here on my YouTube channel. And until then, take care until the next video.